Hi everybody, this is Caroline Sotheby and welcome to Up, Down, and Around Town. We have something that Rich and I did last Saturday, which was sort of different because we had talked to a doctor from the University of Michigan Research Department and said he was going to be in town last weekend. So, Rich, what did you think about Dr. Anatush?
It was very nice to be able to talk to someone with that much credibility. This man was a research scientist. He was an immunologist, and he's on the faculty at the University of Michigan Hospital. And it was really nice to be able to talk to somebody with so much knowledge. I mean, this wasn't something that you read on Facebook or something that someone posted. This was an actual authority on the topic.
And I think it sort of got me involved in it because a couple of weeks before that, I had gone to a tennis tournament. And, you know, like everything else, somebody said, oh, I don't need a mask, I don't need it. And finally, this one person came out and says, I know somebody who does research on it. And I said, can you get that person? And she says, yeah. So maybe we can go to that clip right now, okay? What can you tell us, being that you do research and you're familiar with the virus, can you sort of comfort us and give us an idea of what this whole thing is all about and what we can look forward to?
Well, that's a good question, Caroline. Thanks for inviting me. As a society, I will tell that everybody has to play their role, and there are different components to tackle this pandemic. Epidemiologists who try to figure out how and in which way the disease is progressing and how it is affecting our community. Second is we, the scientists, how we are trying to figure out how this virus actually infects our body and the pathology of the disease progression, and then trying to find out a way of cure. But as a community, it is not only our job. If we seek help from the people, everybody. If everybody do not do their part of their job, we cannot do our part. So for example, I will talk about epidemiology. There is nothing special about this virus, but if we compare with influenza, but there is one challenge for this virus which is making it more dangerous than influenza. For example, for influenza virus, if you go in a community, then one person, if that person gets infected with that virus, then can infect 1.5 people roughly. And this term is known as the R0, or the reproductive ratio. For this coronavirus, COVID-19, if one person gets infected, he or she can infect 3 people, 2 to 3 people. And see if these 2 to 3 people can actually infect, in turn, 9 people. And then 9 can infect, 9 into 3, 27 people. But for influenza, it is one person is infecting, or 1.5 people, and then 3, and 3 becomes 8. The progression, the rate of progression is actually slow. By the time influenza infects the community, with the COVID-19, probably half of the community is infected. But we can do our part. What the epidemiologists are actually referring, they are trying to bring the R0 down. Even we are talking about flattening the curve, how we do it. So, for example, if we maintain the social distance, then obviously the chance of one person can get infecting 3 people will be less. But if we are in a bar or in a restaurant setting without the mask, this reproductive ratio or not will be much higher. But on average, it is now, right now 3, but it is the duty of everybody to keep the R naught down so that we can flatten the curve. But there is one good thing about the virus, but that can turn out to be bad too. That is, this virus progresses. Do you know, for example, if I infect you, the way you will be able to, probably you will not know at the time. You will know after 14 days. So after 14 days, you will be actually communicating to a couple of people. At the time, if you are coughing or sneezing, you probably will be spreading the virus. But the most dangerous part, at that time you will be cautious, but the problem is you will not be cautious if you are an asymptomatic carrier at that point. Then you can actually infect many people unknowingly. So these are the parts which we do not know about this virus. The asymptomatic carriers, how many people they can infect. So everybody should do their part. They should wear their mask and they should maintain their social distancing. Otherwise, we have a problem. I'm not telling it is a highly infectious virus if you are talking in terms of measles. For example, measles, the mortality was quite high without vaccine. But here we are facing a challenge without the mortality, without a vaccine right now. This is the major challenge. Plus, in the United States, because we are having a highly advanced medical system here, there is one more problem here. People with, I will tell people who are having pre-existing condition. For example, people who are with lung transplant, or people who are having immune suppression. They can do fantastic with the healthcare system. But with this virus, they are at many times at risk than the common people. So if we do not do our part, then elderly people, the people with pre-existing conditions, people with people with the habit of smoking, they will have a problem. And another problem is not for everybody this virus can infect at the same rate. For example, some people get infected. This is kind of personalized medicine. Probably you have thought. We actually talked about the personalized medicine quite a long time. Different people get different kind of reactions. So for this virus, we do not know how the way I will react. In the same way, you may not react if your genetics is different. So those things we really do not know. So it is better to be cautious.
Okay. Have you seen any cases on your own while you're, going from day to day? Have you been aware of how they've had to cope with this, and if they made it through?
As a scientist, I did not see any cases so far, but yes, we work very closely to another lab who does COVID research, and the research is underway, but we are directly exposed to the patients. We are not directly exposed to the patients, but yes, I know people who did not do very well with this disease. I know one person who died of this disease, not in this country, but somewhere else. But yeah, so this virus is affecting the community. You have seen anti-mask protests. So a couple of days before, unfortunately, one person from there who did not believe that masks can actually protect them from virus actually died, which is really unfortunate, but everybody has to do their part. So
I happened to see something on the internet the other day. University, I think of Nebraska is the one that more or less have been doing the research in the environment of like a hospital setting where there have been patients, and they claim that those micro droplets are still in the air in that room for hours and hours. Have you heard anything on that at all?
Micro droplets, yes. See, it can actually be in the air, and it can actually travel far. The people are telling maybe 6 feet is not the safe, maybe 10 feet is the same. But what I have, for example, for this interview, what we are doing, I'm without mask and I'm more than 6 feet, but there is another thing I have noticed is the air is coming from this side and it is going behind. So I am not, the chance of me and you are wearing masks, so the chance is very slim that I will infect you, even if I'm asymptomatic carrier. So sometimes you have to use common sense, even if you are not close by, even if you are far apart. Maybe the wind direction, it can spread in any way because it's highly contagious. So you have to be really careful. So, and you have to be vigilant about your surroundings. Another thing I have found is actually kind of worrisome, which I think should be addressed, is people are wearing masks and people are disposing them on the streets.
Yep.
Virus can spread from there. So distributing the mask in the groceries, they are doing their part, but even if you are not carrying the mask, if you are wearing them, you are certainly welcome to wear them to make the people in a confined area safe, but you have to dispose it properly.
So your recommendation is go home, put it in your own garbage.
Yes, or there should be certain place where the things should be disposed or should be marked in the public area. For example, some of the groceries I have seen, they are having the they dispose the gloves and the mask there. So something like that could be helpful.
So that's something else that businesses have to start getting
I think so. I think so because it's on the streets. Means right now mask is mandated. That's really great. But people are disposing masks and not in a proper way. Means we are certainly trained how to dispose the PPP, but not everybody. So I think everybody should be educated about that.
So information for these people that say a mask doesn't make a difference. They're just wanting us to do something and I don't want to do it.
Plus, masks make a difference in other way. We also see the healthy people are dying. Why? I feel that there is more research needed to be done on that aspect, but there are some research papers which came out very recently that we talk about lethal dose. If I am exposed to 4 particles which are infectious, it will be far less dangerous than if I am exposed to 40,000 particles. So mask will help you to keep the particle numbers of the infectious agents which you are breathing in, to keep them down. So you will get infected, definitely. There is a chance you can get infection. You will think, okay, mask is useless. But what you are thinking that is, oh, now I'm infected, but okay, this is not a big deal. Maybe after 7 days I'm fine. Oh, wow. So that's the difference it will make.
Okay, I thank you for taking your Saturday off and coming with us. If we get some more questions and need answers, can we ask it?
Oh, sure.
Can I ask a question? This morning, ABC News reported 150 doctors got together and signed a letter calling for a national shutdown. Do you agree with that? With the numbers going up in the Sun Belt, where do you think we are with stay-at-home order?
That is something epidemiologists have to decide. I'm an immunologist. But as a common means, I will tell that from the other side, I can tell that is the spike what we have, the surge we have right now, it is far higher than the first surge. Certainly some states are doing better. For example, Michigan is doing better. Florida is doing far worse than before. And there were reports, people has anticipated that when the temperature will go high, this virus will go down. That is certainly not the case. We are yet to know more about this virus. I do not have any recommendation for shutting down or keeping everything open, but there should be a system that make the people safe. And you can mandate the things, but everybody, me, you, and everybody has to do their part, whether it's closed or open or partially open. It's a challenging time, which are concerning to the public health safety. I think everybody should do their part to stay safe. We are doing our part in our lab, but as a community, everybody has to do their part. Even if the kids also has to do their part, and unfortunately, this is a tough time for everybody.
So you're an immunologist, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Let's say that, what could we do to help our immune system? Can we eat garlic? Can we eat like green vegetables, a balanced diet, stay away from fast food? Is it more important now with the virus going around to take care of our immune system?
Okay, so this is a good question. Right now, we do not have any answer. But what I can tell you is how this virus infects our body. So we breathe in virus particle. And these virus particles, they are having a very sticky protein on their surface, which is known as spike protein. So this spike protein, they have adherence, means it's a stickiness. So let me talk in a layman's language. Okay, I come to your home, what I will do? I will knock at your door, you will open the door, and we first will interact. And then if you like me, you will let me in. But then I can do the havoc. So that's the way, that's the Trojan horse kind of thing. So this virus spike protein, it binds to a receptor in the type 2 pneumocytes in our lung alveoli, where the gas exchange occurs. And this receptor is known as ACE2 receptor. So that's the interaction at the door. And then the cell likes it because they two interact. Okay, this virus goes in. Now this virus is having a genetic material which is actually RNA. So this RNA synthesizes another copy of RNA by RNA-dependent RNA polymerase. That way, this virus makes multiple particles. And the pneumocyte bursts, and type 2 pneumocyte bursts. Now these type 2 pneumocytes are not the pneumocytes which actually does the gas exchange, but it does one thing. It makes your surfactant. So the surfactants, they shape the lung. So your lung is not collapsed because of surfactant, and it's also a barrier for the entry of the infectious particle to the body. It actually goes up, surfactant from the bottom, it moves at the top because of the low surface tension, and we actually, so if you are breathing in something bad, it can slowly come out. So after this virus particle gets released, what happens, you know, the pneumocytes is also they are broken into small cellular fragments. That attracts different kind of immune cells. One of them is macrophage. So these macrophages, they come and take this debris of the dead cells, and then they feel, oh, our lung is got damaged. What should we do? They now synthesize. So they sense the infection. But in that way, they wanted to fight for it. So they synthesize different chemicals, and these chemicals will attract other kinds of immune cells. For example, IL-6, that's a kind of chemical gets released, and okay, that attracts the neutrophils. Now this neutrophil comes, they engulf the virus, but they also start doing havocs into the lung, into the damaged lung. Then another thing, what this chemical changes in the lung it does, it actually changes the permeability. Permeability, I will tell, okay, two cells, for example, we have an artery. In the artery or the blood capillary, let's go by blood capillary. In the blood capillary, two cells are very close to each other, so the blood doesn't leak. Now, there is a space between the cells of the blood capillary because it's releasing that, it's an adverse reaction by the cytokine released by the cells, macrophages. Now, the plasma started to leak. So our blood pressure gets dropped. And now, type 2 pneumocytes are destroyed. We cannot produce the surfactant. Lung gets collapsed, started to get collapsed. That's the pathologic progression, step by step. You can visualize how it's happening. We can, means if you read the papers, if we interpret the data, means if you read the reviews, you can see how the disease is progressing, and at that stage, it's dangerous. So, how this, I can tell that at this point, your question was, if we can eat something, yes, we can strengthen our immune system, we can do breathing exercise, that can help us to fight against the virus more efficiently, but is it like that we will not get infected? No, we will get infected. There is a huge chance, but we probably will do much better. But if you are a chain smoker and if you quit the smoking for 2 days, what's the guarantee that you will not go to the ventilator if you get infected? The lung reverses if you quit smoking after 10 years. Every day you will do much better, definitely. The chance that you will fight against it will be much better, but those are the pre-existing conditions. Definitely you will do that, but it takes time, and you are still at high risk. So, okay, wear the mask.
Wear the mask. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I think we do too. So at least we have some information. It's not like a friend down the block saying this and this and that. I hope you enjoyed that. If it made any sense to you, because many times we question what the politicians are saying. That you hear debate like, oh, don't believe it, it's political and all this stuff. At least I think with him being a research department, and his father-in-law had also had a double lung transplant, he's aware about the possibility. It's important to have your lungs in good position to be able to fight it and not have a collapse. We did ask him if he ever had any more information or we have questions. He's willing to come on, right?
Yeah. I think as you know, we get further in this, we're at a precipice right now, because people are, beginning to, even the unbelievers, the people who were anti-mask, they seem to be coming on board. I know everywhere I go, I notice more people are wearing masks. Hopefully this will turn it around enough to where it'll make a difference, a significant difference, and we can say, okay, look, this is working. The numbers are going down. Hopefully that'll happen. But it'll be nice to be able to check back with him as we go along, and because who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, with this, everything could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know.
We only have about 3 minutes left, and I think we wanted to say something about when we went to the farmers market last Thursday again, and it's continuing every Thursday. But you had a list of the entertainment. We also had a chance to go look. We found quite a few vendors are repeating themselves over there, and if we can get a little bit of a clip, oh, that's where we were last week. It's in front of the City Hall from 11 to 7, and a lot of people there. You and I had a chance to eat the stuffed cabbage and that from Biddle Hall.
Yep, there it is, right there, the Biddle Hall.
Yeah, and this wasn't. You had a chance to talk to the flower lady too.
Yeah.
And it was.
She's there every week. And she grows all her own flowers. Some she goes to a wholesale for. Yeah,
that was the Biddle Hall.
pierogies.
He makes a pierogi right there on the.
Those are potato and cheddar, by the way, and I had one and they were great. And that's Leah in the background there. That's Leah's husband that's making the pierogies from Biddle Hall.
Well, that part, key lime, I had
Didn't
to get.
you bought pies from him a couple weeks ago?
I
when we
got
were there.
pecan pie this time, but the custard pie from a couple of weeks ago was delicious. And he said he'll probably have it in another couple more weeks. But this gives you an idea. There's not only food, you have other areas that might be of your interest. You had a chance to try one of these.
I did, and I got brain freeze on a hot day, and it was wonderful. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was really good.
And with all that, though, there was entertainment there. So I guess we don't have too much time left, but maybe you can give an idea.
Well, Beats on Biddle. It's weekly downtown entertainment from 3 to 5. You have Lonnie Stump at Sycamore and Biddle. Now, this part is really pretty humorous. From 5 to 7, you have Ask Mary at Sycamore and Biddle, but from 5 to 7, you have Princess Party at Biddle and Sycamore. So I don't know if they're going to be on opposite ends of the street or whatever. And then you have the Second Time Band from 7 to 9 at the Gallery Way Alley. And we had covered that. Briggs was the artist with the industrial paintings that he painted for, was it Wyandotte Chemical? Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this sort of wraps up. We sort of put you on the road, and we're still in the cable system. So thanks, Rich. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Up, Down, and Around Town. Okay.